Hello, everyone. Welcome to the post-mortem, the breakdown of the game. Manchester United 2, Sevilla 2. God knows what's just fucking happened there. It's absolute carnage in the second half. Bruno out. Lissandro could be out for the season. Marcus is out for this next game. Varane went off. 2 own goals. A right back who looked like he'd been shot by a Barrett 50 caliber sniper on more than one occasion. Mental, absolutely mental. Chivy, I'll come to you first. Just talk to me about that game, please. Anything that stands out for you, whatever topic you want to talk about, go for it. Because there's so many. There's not gonna be no structure to this. Just fucking whatever you want to talk about.
Rant.
Vent.
I don't even know if. Oh God, I don't know where to start from. I mean, we're right there. Like we could see it. Like this was supposed to be a different review. Like we're supposed to be here celebrating, and a loss of concentration from Malacia. Loses. He forgets Jesus is right behind him. He had to be the City player as well, and he forgets that. And then it's just the ball just ping pongs in, and right then and then I just knew there's a problem. And before we could even go any further, the game doesn't even go on because Lissandro's on the floor. Like, how can we? Oh, God. I don't know. I mean, if it was 2-1, if it was 2-1, I'd still have a bit of confidence going in. But now we have to really go in there. I don't know. Ten Hag has to give the team talk of his life. Players need to step up. And it's just so unfortunate that we're just losing players. Like the players are just dropping like flies. Like this was, and I was thinking during the game because we'll go into the players and all that.
Yeah.
In the second half, I was really frustrated with Jadon Sancho. Just really frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this was just the perfect game for Garnacho to play. And then we don't have him. And I'm thinking about, well, who do we have on the bench? And I was like, Elanga. Fuck no.
Yeah. I'm surprised even Elanga came on though over Palestre when he came on. I was like, he offers nothing at all.
I always like to look for the positives in stuff like this, but it's really really hard, to think of anything positive now. I mean, we had a really good first half. Maybe he made the subs too quick. Maybe the changes were a bit more radical.
Everything's easier in hindsight, though, isn't it, Chivy? That's the thing.
It's easier in hindsight, I know. But then I remember Fergie. If anything, I remember about Fergie was he was very, very, judicious with his subs. He would always wait for the other person to make a sub first.
Yeah.
And he'd always leave one in the chamber. Unfortunately, we didn't. So yeah.
It's hard for me to criticize Eric Ten Hag on substitutes because he gets it right so many times. Maybe people might look back at this, especially Robbie Savage in commentary, which we touched on before we went live, just talking absolute nonsense. Sam, it feels like we've had never mind a dagger in the heart, we've had one in the ribs, one in the back, one in the stomach, just big blows everywhere. Just talk to me about maybe we can start with positives because there's so many negatives to talk about in the second half. If a game was 45 minutes, we'd win, wouldn't we? Sabitzer, fantastic 2 goals, weren't there?
Yeah, I thought first half he was arguably our best player. I thought Substitutions was everywhere, link up play, some good passing, was looking to get in front of goal as much as possible. Possibly could have had a hat trick, I think, in that first half if he really wanted to. Yeah. I think that was, we looked good in the first half. It died off a little bit towards the sort of last 15 minutes, but I thought going in 2-0 up, come out second half, score another goal, job's a good one, ties over, and we can rest a couple of players going into the second leg. And then second half, just everything that could go wrong went wrong. We used all of our subs. Bruno suspended for a handball that I don't know what he's supposed to do. The ball's blasted in for 2 yards, and he gets done for handball. So if it's a handball, fine. It's not a yellow. I don't understand why that's a fucking yellow.
Oh, it's criminal.
In what world that's a yellow card? No idea. No. Your best defender, arguably, goes off with what looked like to me an Achilles injury. And having done my Achilles, you are off your feet for minimum 6 months. You ain't doing nothing. If it's an Achilles injury, you're off your feet 6 months. And that means probably 8 months to 10 before he's training and he's back in the game. I don't know what it is right now, so I don't want to speculate. But it looked like that because nobody touched him. And he went down under his own power. And he looked like he was in a lot of pain and he had to carry him off. No weight on it, so it doesn't look good, and that's what I suspect it is. So if it is, we're in serious trouble. And lack of defensive switching on and concentration at the back lets them get back into the game, and then you just know where it was going, didn't you? Sevilla get back into it, and now we're going into Sevilla, who are kings of this competition, 2-2, two of our best players out, and yeah, our season is crumbling and our players are crumbling, and it's not looking good right now.
We've got a few people in the chat. I'm just going to read out some comments. Can't believe Malacia, Ren Editson, can't believe Malacia, Harry Maguire ruined United's chances of winning this game. Terrible second half. Well done, Sabitzer, for scoring a brace. I disagree with the Maguire comment, but they're all entitled to opinions. Staffel GK saying, sad that Sabitzer didn't get a hat-trick. I really thought he would. And that's another thing that it takes away the shine from his first half, because he was really good. The 2 goals we touched on, the pass from Bruno Fernandes on the first one, great. The first touch he takes, the way he takes it, crisp. Yeah. And then the left foot finish. And then the second one was arguably even better. Martial, with who I thought was Ozil at the time, like prime Ozil at Madrid, feeding it through to Sabitzer, gets on the score sheet, 2-0. You're like laughing. It's going to be a rosy day. He's there, no problems whatsoever. And then a few decisions start kind of propping up. What did you think about the red card, Chive, on the supposed red card on Casemiro? Did you think it was, or more amber?
I didn't think it was a red card.
I agree.
If it was a stamp, then it would have been. But then I don't think it was. It was a yellow, definitely. But it wasn't.
I agree. Yeah. Sam, thoughts on that? Was you saying red card or?
When I first saw it, I thought it was a red card, and after I saw the replays, he's not pushing his foot down. He's not maliciously trying to hurt Casemiro. It's a follow through for the tackle, and it's not a red card after that. When I initially thought I did, but yeah, George Thompson saying, surely it's an easy appeal with the yellow. I don't think you could appeal yellows. I'm pretty sure. I think you can only appeal.
I haven't heard of the yellows being appealed. Yeah,
so I don't think you can appeal yellows.
But if it leads to a suspension, can you appeal it then?
I don't know. Maybe.
I suppose. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe,
I don't know.
maybe.
I'll look into that.
Dan Raj, Ten Hag substitutions are questionable at times. I think he gets his substitutions right 9 times out of 10. Like I don't think that's true.
Explain why they're questionable. Just whilst we read out a few more comments, explain why they're questionable. Because I'm that's Dan's comment. I know. Maguire headed one away from David De Gea, but Cassie didn't even jump for the header. Also, Maguire was too close. I mean, I don't think you can blame Maguire for that one. Like, to be honest with you, like, I think that's outrageous. Blaming Maguire for that. Yeah. I said before we came on, like, that could have hit Maldini himself in the head, and there's nothing he could have done about it. It's unfortunate. He seems to attract that kind of negativity towards him, and he'll get pelters for it because it's Harry Maguire. But listen, you should be speaking about Malacia more to the point on that first goal, because that defending is one of the worst bits of defending you'll ever see in your life. He just lets it drift across him, not even aware what's going on behind. It reminded me a little bit, remember we played Leipzig? I always refer to this, but when we played Leipzig, Wan-Bissaka at the back post, it reminded me of that. Just not switched on, not aware. And he was all right, Malacia. He weren't too bad for most of the game, but that piece of defending there is dog and duck on a Sunday defending. Fucking terrible.
What have we got now as well? Like, you think Shaw's out, McTominay's out, Licha's out, Rashford's out, Bruno suspended for the next leg. Varane can't play. Garnacho's out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and how long till Anthony Martial gets injured? You know what I mean? So it's just we are suffering right now, and we've got an FA Cup semi-final against Brighton, who are flying, and a 2-2 second leg going into Sevilla, who are kings of this competition and know how to win ugly. So it's not looking good. Lewis Jackson with a super chat. Thank you very much, Lewis. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Yeah, obviously when we brought the subs on in the second half, there was always going to be a drop-off in quality. When you bring Weghorst on, Elanga as well, and Eriksen, you was looking at it and thinking, right, Martial's coming off. Martial want to get 60th minute. He's not played a full 90 minutes. I'm absolutely fine with that. Eriksen on, also get. Eriksen, fantastic player, just come back. You know, maybe he was ready to start. Who knows? Don't see anything wrong with that. Elanga one. I mean, a lot of people in the chat at the time were saying Sancho weren't exactly playing amazing and was upset with him. So maybe you could say, all right, well, you bring on Elanga, but Palestri doesn't really play on the left-hand side. I've never seen him play there. So who else do you bring on? Yeah. That's my point with the subs. I don't understand the criticism.
I understand the Elanga substitute as well, because like I said to you, like Jadon Sancho was really frustrating me. Like I'm one of his biggest fans. Like he had a really good first half, but the second half, like And I knew the point when Ten Hag made that decision, because there was a time the ball went to, because they kept attacking down that left hand side, and there was a time the ball went, and you could see Malacia kind of like calling Jaden to come, and Jaden's just jogging, and I was like, we need legs on the left hand side, and I knew at that moment that he wasn't going to last the game.
Yeah.
So you can't really fault him for doing that, because we lost Varane, so you have to bring in Maguire. And then he made those 3 changes. I think maybe it's the Pelistri change at the end for Anthony. Probably would have been. But then I understand he was trying to save Anthony but because
he created a chance though. Pelistri created a chance at the end when he cut it across and Vegas cut it back to Elanga. So he created something.
Yeah, Vegas for that.
Scored.
Vegas for that. What is he doing?
Yeah,
honestly, what is he doing?
Yeah, we'll touch that, but this is what This is what being a manager is all about. You have to make those. It's taking risks sometimes. You have to make those big decisions, and you have to live by them. And he's done one.
Can you bring your mic a little bit closer, just because the sound? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as a manager, you have to make those big decisions. You have to take risks, and that's what you live and die by them. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be sitting back and assessing everything that's happened. Like we said, there's so many things to talk about. There's little events we've not even discussed. Anthony hitting the post was another one. Like Anthony and Acuna in the corner was a bit of a funny back and forth, wasn't it? Like cartoon style kind of sketch, making him slip over and shit. So there's some nice moments in there. But as Meme King has just put in there, Licha, that is the biggest one for me. Lissandro, if he's out for the rest of the season, which it could look like that, how detrimental is that going to be to our season, lads? Because he's been an absolute gem, one of the best centre backs in the league for me this season. He's so important to how we play, our ball progression throughout the back. We're going to miss him, aren't we, Chiva?
Yeah, 100%. And we wouldn't have felt it that much if Luke Shaw was fit, because we've seen Luke Shaw really play well in the centre back position. But I don't know how long his injury is for. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. So I mean, if we have him back, and Varane, I think it was just a knock. If we have them back, then maybe we can salvage something there. But, I'm sure, just like everyone else, nobody wants to see Maguire and Lindelof. Like,
no, God, no.
It's no disrespect to them. Like, I like to support my players, but we're getting to that crucial part of the season where we need, our defense has really saved us this season, and we can't go back to what it was before. So hopefully, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. I hope Luke Shaw is not too bad, and I hope we can have Varane back, because then we might be able to salvage something. But losing Lissandro is a massive blow.
Dan saying should have brought Fred in. He's there in the team for these moments when you need to save the lead. Yeah, Fred's one maybe you could have brought on, but then who do you take off for Fred? That's the question. Do you bring off Sabitzer, who's been a threat for a lot of the game? Casemiro, I don't think it was Casemiro's most glamorous games. He did bits that's really good, but sometimes Casemiro, when he comes back, when he's been out for a bit, he's a little bit off the pace, a little bit rusty. Yeah, and I think you saw bits of that today, but no doubt it brings that extra quality. I'm just, for next week now, is it in their favour? Sevilla's favour at home, 2-2, with the players that we've got out? Like, it's gone from just cruising through, another semi-final for us, light work, easy, to now, oh my God, this is an uphill battle now. We've got Sevilla away. The fans are going to be right behind him. The pedigree they've got in this competition, the experience. I don't get how it's collapsed. We completely capitulated in that second half, and my brain's scrambling, trying to figure out how the fuck it's happened. But it's been so many events, which we touched on. One more I want to touch on as well before we get into the player ratings. We've got double figures in the chat. Make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for the ratings as well. David De Gea makes an unbelievable save. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because pre-match, there was a lot of discussion about him, his future, what's going to happen with that. And again, I think you saw key elements from both sides of his game today. A lot of the times when it's at the back and we're trying to play out, he just twatted it up the pitch. Like, just looked nervous, didn't want to play it out to feet, and a couple of other little bits, but then brings off the fantastic saves like he does. I know it's not a crushing issue right now, but what do we do with De Gea, lads? How do we manage this situation?
Meme King in the chat is asking what happened to Licha. He had the ball and he's just sort of strided forward, and then he just pulled his heel up off the ground like something had popped, and then had to be carried off the pitch by two Sevilla players, and he looked like he was in a lot of pain and got stretchered to the back, so it doesn't look good. For me, it looks like an Achilles injury. Like, I've had one, and that's exactly what happened. And if it is an Achilles injury, he's out for a long, long time. Like, you won't see him this season or the first part next season. So it could be a bad one, but I'm sure we'll find out in time. But yeah, De Gea, I think he was very cagey with his pre-match comments as well about his contract and whether he wants to stay or not, which made me like go, what's going on here? Is he either he's not getting the money he wants because obviously he has to take a pay cut in order to stay, so he's obviously saying I want a pay cut but not willing to take whatever it is United are offering him, because he was very cagey. He didn't answer the question at all. Like, they asked him if he wanted to stay and he was just like, I'm just concentrating on games, I'm just doing that and stuff like that, which is a bit weird considering your contract's up in the summer. So that's up in the air. So that might be another problem we have to address this summer, is going out and getting a goalkeeper, which we didn't plan for. So that's something that might become a very pressing issue this summer. His shot stopping ability, fantastic. Kept us in the game at that point. And then Varane with the fantastic header off the line as well. Kept us in the game, and you're like, okay, we can see this game out. And then, but yeah, his distribution is just, again, we say it every week, it's just not good. And I know Dave, who's on the channel, feels very strongly, thinks we should get rid of David De Gea. And if he's not willing to stay and he's making these bones about getting paid and stuff like that, then it might be time to part ways. But it's going to be a hell of a scramble in the summer to find a goalkeeper who can step into his shoes, because we've got other pressing areas that we need to fill, and it's not a problem we need right now, but it might be one we have to deal with.
Chivet, I know we always talk about this. It's not a pressing issue, and you know, there's other things that are out there we need to fill. But given it is the contract that's going to expire and he's going to go, does that not make it a pressing issue?
Well, I saw it differently. I thought he answered the question fantastically, like, because you could tell, like, the journalists were throughout the whole press conference, they were trying to get snippets up from Ten Hag and De Gea, and they asked him about his contract, and he was like, "We have a game to play. We're in the semi-finals of the Europa League. We have crucial games to play. I'm not thinking about that." And that's what I want to hear. Like, before a game, for an important game, you shouldn't be talking about your contract, to the press. So I was really happy with the answer he gave. I understand the concerns. Like, we've spoken about De Gea quite a few times, and I think we can live with, when it comes to distribution, we can live with that for now, right? I'd rather him save us points, right? I'd rather him give the ball away, every now and then save us 3 points by making an unbelievable save that only him can make. So I think we can live with that distribution thing now. There's just way too many players that need to leave. There's so much in this squad that needs, we need to build up a whole new squad, and we can't be bothering about De Gea for now. That's how I see it. And I know the contract is up. Yeah, it's not, if you can't sign, then fine, we'll have to deal with that. But that's not a pressing. It's never been a pressing issue for me. We've lost Lisandro now. We might actually have to go out and get a central defender to cover for next season before he comes back. If he's out for a year, that's another new target that we have to make. There's so many things happening, and I think we shouldn't be wasting, depending on who we have as an owner and the resources available to us in the summer, we shouldn't be putting 50 million away for a goalkeeper, because there's way too much going on in the central, in midfield and striking positions, left back, right back, who knows.
Arguably as well, we already needed a centre back without this Licha injury, because Maguire seems like he's leaving. Lindelof, there's stuff of him going. So arguably we needed a centre back anyway. Might need two. I might need two at this point, which is super worrying.
Kamigisha Shakilia, sorry if I butchered that wrong, say what's going on with crying faces. You tell us, because the things that's gone on in that game.
So much.
We can't.
So much.
It's so hard to decipher. It's unbelievable the amount of events that happen in that game, honestly. I've just got a couple of quotes here. I'm going to get into the player ratings very shortly. So again, please do, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, smashing a like on the video, and join us as we go through the ratings A to F for each player. Peter Schmeichel, little quote here on his fellow goalkeeper. David De Gea played well, but he couldn't do anything on the goals. He kept United ahead, but to no avail. Casemiro also played well. The best player was Marcel Sabitzer. Yeah, the De Gea on the goals. I've seen people saying, like, what's he doing there? Like, it's deflection. The Malacia one's just a pure deflection.
What is he supposed to do? Like,
yeah, and then obviously in the Maguire one, like, no keeper on the planet getting there. Not even Stretch Armstrong himself would get near that fucking goal. So I didn't get the criticism of that. A couple of quotes from Eric Ten Hag saying we should have scored 3 or more. The game was totally on us. Injuries saw us lose the rhythm of the game. First half, we played very well with a lot of belief. We should have scored more. And on Lissandro's injury, he said it doesn't look great. When Lisandro Martinez drops out with no opponent involved, it doesn't look great at all. Yeah. And that's the biggest dagger for me, which we've already touched on. But I don't know where we go from here, lads, to be honest. It's going to be a tough game next week against Sevilla at their ground. If we manage to come through that unscathed and get through, then fair enough. Like, full credit to the lads, because we're going without a lot of the big players. Yeah, I think with that, I think we've covered pretty much everything in the game itself. Should we do the ratings?
Yeah, there's just a couple of comments. Can I read them out and then we'll do the
go for
ratings. Yeah. Dan was saying, to be honest, I would have brought in Eriksen instead, Fred, because 2-0 up, you should be prepared to come for the heat to come during the dying minutes. Adam is saying Shaw was injured, Zlatan was injured, Rojo was injured, Bailly was injured for our Europa League run under Mourinho, but we still won. Positivity there. And then, Dan Raj just confirming what you just said. Ten Hag said Lissandro's injury doesn't look good. So,
yeah, not great. Let's dive into the ratings then. This is going to be a bit of a strange one, but David De Gea, what do you give him? I'll let you lads leave with this, because I don't want to give him a rating. I have no idea.
I'll give him a B.
Okay. Why a B specifically? Think he had a great game? Yeah.
He did. I mean, there was nothing. The goals, you can't fault him for those goals.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely not. Like, he made some really, really important saves, even when we had our backs against the wall. So yeah, well, let's say C plus. Let me just say C.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Sam, agreed?
I go B. I go B minus. I think he kept us in the game with that save. Obviously, distribution, like we talk about all the time. Can't do anything about the goals, the deflections, the own goals. Like, I don't understand what you want him to do.
Yeah, the Maguire one was literally. It might have been a throw-in.
You saw what I mean? Like, it was the opposite end of the goal and then just switched ends completely.
Like, you could see him, like, in the replay. You could see De Gea just like, all right, it's going out, and then it just pings off and comes back in. So,
so I go with a B minus. I don't think he was at fault, and I thought he had a decent game. So,
yeah. So majority C plus, just as we go through this, is that correct? Yeah. Kamigishi there saying I play Casemiro at centre back. You know what? I was actually thinking about this at the end of the game. I was like, I remember seeing him for Bournemouth.
Yeah, he's done it before.
He's done it before.
Yeah, just because from the progression from the back, it's so important that with the way we set out. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I really wouldn't. It's just who you play in the 6 then.
Sabitzer or Bruno, 6 and 8. And then you could play Eriksen.
Maybe Bruno.
Eriksen in the 10.
Because then you've got your stages. Then you've got Casemiro from the back, Bruno as a 6, Eriksen to unlock, and then Sabitzer there as well, who I thought was really good, by the way, in the number 10 role today. So I was happy with this.
The problem is, I don't like Sabitzer in the deeper role. Like, he's not as effective.
No, I agree.
Up front.
Yeah.
Like, when he's in the deeper role, like,
you can switch it around. You can have Sabitzer in the 10, and then Eriksen in the 8, and then Bruno in the 6. You could do it that way as well.
Oh man, that's too porous, man. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's way too porous.
Wan-Bissaka, what do we think? I thought he was all right. I can't remember any massive incidents where I was like, I think he's a starting right back for me. I know we've discussed it a few times, but I do think he's over Dallo at the minute. Steady performance, nothing mega, nothing thinger. Do we give him C plus? C plus?
I go with C plus. He didn't do anything huge, but I don't think he was at fault for anything. I don't think he did anything wrong from my end anyway.
Yeah. Raphael Varane.
I mean, we've only got
I never noticed Varane in the game.
45 minutes, haven't we?
I know, but even still, like, I know he always goes about his job. He's always fantastic, reads the game well, covers up. You know, he's a great defender. But I never noticed him in a game just because he's so placid.
Took it off the line. He saved it off the line for us after the De Gea save.
Yeah, clearance off the line as well.
So
very good shout. B minus for Varane. Would you say?
Yeah, I'd go B minus. I don't know about Chivy.
I'll go B minus for the header of the thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was
vital.
steady C plus, steady performance. Yeah.
Lissandro Martinez is he in the same category?
Yeah.
I'd give him a B minus anyway, just because he's gone off, and that might be his last. This might be the last rating we give Lissandro this season.
Yeah.
How fucking upsetting is
Do you
that?
remember? Like I think it was like 5 minutes before the injury. There was one time like he had like three players around him, and he just weaves his way. Yeah, just he tries to make the pass. All right, it doesn't go. Then he goes the other way. It doesn't go. He just turns around, gives it back to De Gea. Like takes three players out easy. Like you never see that. Like
I've never seen a player so press resistant in my life. Like it's unbelievable. Like there's
Central
no
defender.
pressure. Like ever. He's never under any pressure.
Yeah. The blocks as well. Some of the blocks he put in, fantastic. His ability on the ball, second to none. So yeah, B minus. Malacio.
oh god.
I mean, just for that alone, the mistake he makes, he ain't getting a good rating off me. I don't care if he's had a good game up until then.
He didn't have a good game.
No.
I know, but I'm just saying, even if he did have a good game, like that would still knock it down for me. It was outrageous defending. I mentioned it before. It's pub football that you can't leave a right back behind you and just not do anything about it. You let it drift. That's the thing. He's there. Just if you're not sure about it, just clear it, and he let it go behind him, and you're like, fucking hell, man.
It's number one. Really,
he's getting a.
When you play as like a defender, like I didn't play as a defender many times, but the number one rule is if you're not sure, just get rid. That's what you do. If you're not sure of who's behind you or what's going, just get rid of it. Just get rid. Even if you knock it out for a corner, just fucking get rid so you can reset and you can redefend. Like it's just yeah, not great.
I'm giving him a D for me. Is outrageous. Maybe even more because he weren't great, was it?
Because like you saw that if you watch the replay, you can see like De Gea is like shouting at him and telling him like, clear it, ask him to do something.
Yeah,
I'll go.
He just leaves.
I'll go D minus then to go between you. If we do that, if Nick's going D and Chivy's going E, we'll go D minus.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Dan with a super chat saying nothing to say. I've got something to say actually. Their right back needs to order the 3-piece tux for the Oscars, mate. The acting he was doing on the ground. What an absolute twat he was.
Who was it that hit, like grazed his face and he went down like Tyson had knocked him out in his prime?
That's what I mean.
He was down for like half an hour. He was there forever.
This is a guy who scored the winning goal. Well, scored the winning penalty, I believe, for Argentina. How do you go from that to that acting on the floor? It's like, it's honestly so bizarre. Don't get it. Oh, calm. Casemiro, we touched on his performance slightly, didn't we? Steady, just C for Casemiro. Maybe slightly better, I'd say. But Chive, I'd go C+, but you get the decision.
I'll go C.
Okay.
He was rusty. Man, his vision as sharp as ever.
Unbelievable.
And physically, you could just tell that he needs that match rhythm to get back in. So
yeah. Sabi, on a more positive note, 2 goals for him, 2 fantastically taken goals on his weak foot. Could have had a hat trick. You can't ask for more, can you, from a player who's playing as a number 10, combinational play, really nice, getting into good areas. I'm going to give him an A. I thought he was fantastic today, to be honest.
I'll go A minus just because I thought there's a couple of times where he could have had that hat trick and he probably should have scored the hat trick, and this game could have then been out of sight. But everything else he did was class. Good goals, some great, like I said, great combination play. Some of his passing is on point, and he just looked totally at home, and it was good to see. He was probably the standout performer for us today. I think he was like one of our best players.
Man of the match, Sabitzer. If you agree, guys, who's watching right now, there's currently 14 of you in the chat. Let us know, Sabitzer, man of the match, or if you would go for someone else. Chive, man of the match, A? Less?
No, like B minus. He scored 2 really good goals, but if you really watch Sabitzer, like he loses his duels a lot. Like whenever he's going into a duel with another player, I always just, oh god, he's gonna lose. Well, not like that, but then I don't really have that much faith in him winning like his battles. But in terms of linking up play, his passes, his vision, it's getting a lot better. I like to see him further up the field, and he played really well today. So yeah, I'll give him a B+.
Okay, you said A minus.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, I changed it to B+. I feel really bad for him because this was supposed to be his night.
It's his game, innit? His moment, like
the moment. I was so happy for him, and yeah, it just ruined. I'll give him a B plus.
So I said A, Sam said A minus. We'll go with A minus because then that's majority there.
Shall I read
Bruno Fernandes.
Shall I read
Yeah,
a couple of
we'll get
comments
into a few
because they're
comments.
just going mental.
Yeah.
Daniel Rice, surely he'd be blamed for that goal. Is that De Gea he's referring to? I'm not
Malacio.
sure. Malacio, yeah. It hurts when people blame for that goal. I don't blame Maguire either. Yeah, Maguire can't have guys at fault. Can you discuss the next fixture lineup? I believe it's Forest next, and then Sevilla with the away fixture, and then what's the one weekend after? Chelsea? No, Spurs?
Spurs potentially. No, Spurs is 28th, isn't it? I think we play Spurs.
Thursday, I think.
Thursday.
Yeah, I'll get the fixtures up now. We've
Adam,
got
Adam is doing. Sorry, have you got him, Nick? I didn't realise you're getting that quick.
Forest, Sevilla, Brighton in the FA Cup, then Tottenham. Tough games.
Yeah,
tough games.
Adam is saying De Gea B, Wan-Bissaka C, Varane B, Licha B, Malacia C minus. That's generous. Bruno B minus, Casemiro C, Sabitzer A minus, Sancho C. Again, very generous. Martial B, Anthony B minus. First thing you learn as a defender, don't let it bounce. Meme King, can we leave the top 4 race and try our best to win the UEFA Europa League? Then we compete in the Champions League. Please discuss. I mean, Mourinho did that and it was almost a disaster. Let's not do that again. I don't want to do that
Pointless abandoning it when we're already in the top 4.
Yeah,
don't want to abandon that. Is that all the comments? Yeah. All right, cool. Bruno Fernandes. With that being said, what do we think about his performance today? Chevy, I'll go to you first.
C plus.
Yeah, just above average. Steady.
Yeah, C plus.
How many minutes was he on for, by the way? Was
60?
it
65?
60? Was it?
Yeah.
Standard C plus performance. Yeah, look, it's hard to rate people when I'm so focused on all the other things that have gone on during the game. I completely forget about some of the incidents that's happened with the players themselves. But I think I'll follow that. I didn't see him do anything outstanding, but nothing was amazing either. Saying that, the assist for Sabitzer's goal was quite good. So yeah, C plus. Sam, C plus.
I'll go with C plus. It wasn't the Everton game, was it, where he was just absolutely on fire with the number 6 position? It wasn't that game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a shit game either. So yeah, just C plus.
Yeah, C plus. Anthony, I'm much happier with him today. I thought he was on it. I actually really liked his performance. Aside from a couple of bits where I was like, but the majority of his game
should have scored.
Well, he hit the post, didn't he?
That's
to be fair, he hit the post. But I thought I was really happy with him today, running at his man as well, getting onto his right hand side, putting crosses in. That's what you want to see from Anthony. And if you can continue to do that, I would be happy. So C plus, B minus, that's the range I'd go for with Anthony.
Definitely a B. B something.
B minus, yeah.
B something, because he came in under a lot of criticism before today's game. The journalists were asking about that during the press conference. But the thing about Anthony is that apart from the offensive duties, he covers a lot at the back, a lot, and he's
grafter.
He's a hard worker. I was really happy with his game today. I'll definitely give him a B something. But
yeah.
I'll
agree with that, Sam.
Yeah, I'll go B minus. Like you said, he tried different stuff. He tried going onto his right and getting the ball in, which I hadn't seen for ages for him. And if he could do that just a couple of times a game, it keeps the fullback guessing, and the fullback goes, okay, he's not going to cut onto his left and ping it like he does. He might go right, and then he gets a little bit more space to be able to do different things. And then probably should have scored a goal. I think he should. He should score a goal, but it's the post. You get it as close as you can.
Yeah, his decision making as well was really good today. I was really, really impressed with that, and some of the things he was trying. I remember that outside of foot pass where he tried to bend it over to Sancho at the far post. Even in the first time Sancho scored and it got chalked off, he drifted into the midfield, passed it. He made a lot of good decisions today, so I was really happy with that.
Yeah, agreed. Me and King saying I cannot join membership or send super chats based on country region, but have subscribed to you. That's absolutely fine. Thank you very much for that. I think sometimes with the membership you can only join if you do it through an internet browser if you're on iOS.
I think you have to do it on a browser. So if you just go on a computer and just go to our channel and click join, you could do it there. But we appreciate you subscribing either way. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Regardless, thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Anthony Martial, I love having him there instead of Vegas, I have to admit. The levels is so different. you get what you get from him. The pass, the Ozil pass, I refer it to for Sabitzer. I had the needle shit. Like, yeah, Vegas doesn't do that. He can't do that. He's incapable of doing it. I would give Martial a B minus probably. Might be a bit too high praise for a B. Lads.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Chivy. Sorry.
Anyone out there?
Yeah. I was waiting for you.
Just because the order we've done it in, it's been Chivy me, so I was just waiting.
Has it?
Yeah.
Has it?
You can say agree if you want. Just if you agree with that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, like you could just tell the difference was just crazy. Like I you know, every time he either scores or assists, every time he plays, like it's mental. Like,
yeah.
And it wasn't even the assist was brilliant, but like it was just the all round play. He hardly did anything wrong today, and he just connected the attack really, really well. And remember, before Sabitzer's goal, there was this piece of skill he did on the at the touchline. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He beat some players, and then it was crazy. Like I was just so impressed.
Footwork on point.
Yeah, breath of fresh air. And then when you think about the pass that came to Weghorst from Sabitzer, and I was like, if that was Anthony Martial, he would have either scored,
turned and shot, Milne,
or laid it up for someone who would have scored. But
he would have sent the centre back to Tesco when he would have put it in the bottom corner. We know it. He would have done.
Easily.
100%.
Yeah, because Weghorst got in, it was almost like he was shell shocked. Like it was like a hot potato. Like
yeah, literally. Like, oh my god, what do we do now? What do we do?
I've never seen a striker panic in 6 yards from goal.
No,
like he was in the 6-yard box and he panicked. He's like, I don't know what to do.
Not even that. Not even just that, right? Elanga was literally right next to him.
Right there, like, yo.
Just across the box. And he's going in, and he's like, I'll give it to the defender that's on the edge of the box. And you're like, Vegas, man, like, come on. There's only so much advocating I can do for you, pal.
Yeah.
You know, he's only 2 million. He's only from Burnley. Like, you get what you get. But yeah, Martial just level different.
Yeah, so it was really good to see him back, and just bring a lot of confidence back to the team. Be something.
B minus. We'll go. Sam.
Yeah, I'll go B minus.
I'll go B.
Okay. That pass that he did for the seconds a bit
sensational,
fantastic. That is when you think about having a number 9 for Manchester United and the quality you're missing, and why people have a go at Weghorst. That's why Weghorst don't offer that. He don't offer that sort of passing. He don't offer that sort of ability, and he doesn't offer that sort of finishing that Martial offers. And it's just a shame that he's been injured this season, because my God, could we have done with him this season? We could have been higher up in the league and stuff like. It could have been so much different.
Do you know what I love about it as well? Sorry, Jimmy. Do you know what I love about it? The obvious pass was just the spraying out to Wan-Bissaka, who's on the right-hand side. And everybody's looking at that. Even the players on Sevilla are looking at that ball. So it's going that way. And it's just like, no, mate, boom, cut straight through your goal. It's in a bit. Kill the game off. Or what we thought would kill the game off.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Because when he gets the ball and his players, like when he pulls it back, all of us, for like a second or so, I'm thinking, all right, this attack is dead. And he literally just threads it through, like. So yeah, so I love that. And I've noticed that with Martial, like since he came back, like he's deeper. He plays a lot deeper.
Yeah.
Comes back to get the ball and then bring it up front. So yes, it's just good to have him. Like, and I just hope Rashford comes back soon enough for both of them for the season running. You know. So.
Just also a little nuanced thing that in terms of tactics with that, when Martial was dropping deep, because Sabitzer, we touched on it before, I think Sam mentioned it, but he has played as like a false 9 before. He's played in attacking areas, so we can pick up that space that Martial vacates, and you can see that today.
He's a good finisher
impressed
as
with
well.
Martial.
Sabitzer, like fantastic finisher.
Oh yeah,
like
week 4, that second one.
Yeah, it's not the worst guy to have in like the false 9 position, because he can finish.
No.
So.
Absolutely. Just lacks a little bit of pace for me. I think that's the only thing with Sabitzer.
Yeah,
like he's a little bit physicality, a little bit of pace, but he's all right. Jadon Sancho, the last rating of the night. Guys, do get yours in. Please do subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video if you are new, seeing new numbers coming in consistently. So please do consider. And if you want to become a real Red Ultra, just click the join button next to the notification bell. You get exclusive content, a badge next to your name, and a chance to feature on the show. Jadon Sancho. See how I did that? What would you give him?
Yeah, frustrated me, man. I was so frustrated. Like, I'll give him a.
It's like that, innit? Sancho. Good, bad, good,
yeah,
bad.
Yeah, it's just like, just pick your head up. Like, there was so many times when Bruno like made a run. There was one I remember, like, and Bruno's screaming at him, just thread it through, like. And I really like the guy. Like, I'm one of his biggest fans, but like, he really, I was, so pissed. I don't know. I can't even.
C minus.
C minus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he had a really good first. There were times in the first half where, he was really bright. But yeah, I'll give him a C minus.
Yeah, he had moments where I was like, oh, there could be something here, and then he'd have other moments like Chivy said, where he'd like run into a player and just lose the ball, or there'd be a pass on and he'd just ignore it completely, and it's just like, come on, man, like just give me something to get behind, like just give me something, because at the minute you're frustrating the fuck out of me, and it's really doing my head in because you have this ability and you've just not shown it at Manchester United. Meme King is saying, based on country region, I can't join. Sorry guys, but I'm supporting the channel by telling my friends to subscribe. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it.
Yeah, lots of love. Appreciate that.
Have you seen that meme where the lady goes, "We're rooting for you," when she's shouting?
Yeah. We were all rooting for you.
I've not seen it.
That was me screaming at Jaden today, like, I'm fighting your corner. You're doing this, like.
Yeah. Oh, the Harry Potter one where he goes, How dare you stand there where he stood because Rashford's out. You got Sancho on the left. Oh, God. Yeah, not great, is it, lads? Not great coming out of it. United could be without Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, and Rafael Varane for the second leg against Sevilla. Basically, most of our great players, our best players, potentially. We come away with a draw. We obviously thought it was cruise control. We would have gone through. Very tough now with the second leg against Sevilla. We've got Nottingham Forest on Sunday, so not got enough time to wipe away the tears. I'm sure we'll hear more about this tomorrow, about Lisandro and everything coming out from it. So make sure you tune in and make sure you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a thing, because we will go live and report this kind of stuff. Sam, Chive, thank you very much for coming on, lads.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. By the way, as well, final note before we go, Nick will be on Stretford Paddock tomorrow, doing a preview for the Nottingham Forest game.
I forgot about that.
So please do go over to Stretford Paddock, and if you do go over to Stretford Paddock, tell him Real Red sent you. Let him know where you're from, just to give him a bit of hype. And go watch him. But then we will be on our own channel for our own Nottingham Forest preview on Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday. Yeah, correct.
Saturday. So you can come over and check our preview out with some of the other lads. So keep an eye on that. It's really cool, and we appreciate people like Paddock and Jay and stuff like that inviting us on. I was invited on, but I will be working, sadly, so I couldn't attend. But yeah.
Right, we'll leave it on that on a positive note, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to the lads for coming on. We draw. We go to Sevilla next week, and we'll be back at the same time next week, hopefully with a win this time. Take care of yourselves. Adios. Peace.
See ya.